Good morning. Welcome to TMMS Productions, your channel for learning mathematics, physics, and chemistry the easy way. In this video, we will be learning how to solve problems on congruency of triangles. In our last video, we saw the different tests for congruency, which means if we are given two triangles, we could use SSS test or SAS test or ASA or AAS test or RHS test of congruency. Now, if you haven't seen it, you can go back, first see that video and then come to this, because we are learning to use this in our problems which are based on congruency. Now, basically what we have to learn is that when you are given a diagram, you have to see which are the two triangles we are going to prove to be congruent, and we have to check whether it is going to use SSS test or SAS test or ASA or AS, and whether it is going to require RHS test. Once we have proved, understand that in each one of these we are taking three elements. There are three sides here. There is side, angle, side. Again, there are three elements here. Again, there are three elements here, three elements here. So we prove using the three elements, and once we have proved remaining three elements, because a triangle has six elements. As I told you in the earlier video, you will have in a triangle three angles and three sides. Now, if we are using three sides over here, that means automatically the corresponding angles will be equal. So these are the remaining three elements. And what we say is corresponding angles of congruent triangles are equal. If I use SSS test, I have taken the sides, and once I have taken the three sides, automatically when I say A is corresponding to D, then I will say the reason as these are the corresponding angles of congruent triangles. Same thing for this. If I say SAS test, I have used AB, angle B and BC equal to DE, angle E and EF. So once I prove that the two triangles are congruent, automatically I'll say that therefore AC is equal to DF, because corresponding sides of congruent triangles are congruent. I can also say that angle A is equal to angle D. Why? Because they are the corresponding angles of congruent triangles. Now here you can call the sides and the angles as the corresponding parts. So we can now say, instead of corresponding sides and corresponding angles, we will say corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Let us look at our question number 1. We have a diagram here, and in this diagram you can see point O, and O is the midpoint of PQ and MN. So if O is the midpoint of PQ, PO will be equal to OQ, and O is the midpoint of MN, so MO is equal to NO. And we have to prove that MP is equal to NQ and MP is parallel to NQ. So I have marked MP and NQ. If they are to be equal, then they should be part of the triangles which could be congruent. Now MP is part of this triangle and NQ is part of this triangle. So we have to check whether this triangle, which one, POM, is it congruent to this triangle which is QON. Now remember, all the tests that we have for congruency, we have here this side and this side. So we have been given one side, and this side and this side, they are equal. So we've been given another side which is also equal. And so in between, if you look at this angle and this angle, aren't these two angles equal? Why are they equal? Because if two lines intersect, then vertically opposite angles are equal. And so this triangle over here and this triangle over here, they are congruent because of SAS test for congruency, which is the two sides and the included angle is equal to the corresponding two sides and the included angle. And so we write these steps just the way we said it. Statement number 1. We will say in triangle MPO and triangle. Now MPO, remember your M is corresponding to N, P is corresponding to Q, and so NQO will be the second triangle. And we shall write PO equal to QO. And this will be O is midpoint of PQ given. Let us look at second statement. Now remember, we are using SAS. So this is your S. Now I'll write here A. I'll say the two angles which are equal will be this angle which is POM is equal to this angle which will be QON. And the reason is vertically opposite angles are equal. Then the third one is S. Because we are using SAS, we finished with PO equal to QO. Then we took this angle and this angle. Now we got to take this one. So here we will say MO, that is side MO, is equal to side NO. And here again we will say O is the midpoint of this side which is MN, and that is given. And the fourth statement will be therefore the two triangles, which ones? MPO congruent to triangle NQO. And why do I say that? I say that because I'm supporting my statement because of these three statements. Statement 1, 2, 3 and SAS test for congruency. The fifth statement. Now we have to prove that MP is equal to NQ. Isn't MP and NQ, these two sides, aren't MP and NQ, these two sides, aren't they corresponding to each other? Aren't they opposite equal angles? See, this angle and this angle are equal. So opposite this is MP and opposite this is NQ. So MP and NQ become corresponding sides and they will be equal. So we derive from this fourth statement that therefore MP will be equal to NQ, and that will be because statement 4 says that two triangles are congruent and therefore their corresponding parts will be equal. So we will say corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. That is CPCT. I'm just writing it in short. And this becomes our first proof. So proved first part. Now I have to prove that MP is parallel to NQ. Now why would any two sides be parallel to each other? Why would two lines be parallel to each other? Only because of the either we will have corresponding angles equal or I'll have alternate angles equal. Can you see this? Can you see these two angles? Aren't these two angles alternating angles? And aren't they equal because they are the corresponding angles of congruent triangles? So because the alternate angles are equal, MP becomes parallel to NQ. So we will write number 6, angle, this angle. Which one is this? PMO. And it is equal to this one, which will be QNO. And why do I say this? Because of statement 4. And again, they are corresponding parts of congruent triangles. These two triangles are congruent. So this one and this one, they are the corresponding parts. So I'll say CPCT. And therefore, number 7, they are alternate angles. And because they are alternate angles, I can say that the two lines which are containing them, can you see MP and NQ, if they are parallel and if this MN is the transversal, then these angles become alternate angles and they're equal. So I say therefore MP is parallel to NQ. And then I will say this is from statement 6, and I will say since alternate angles are equal. And that is how I have proved the second part, and I'll say out here proved 2. And that is how we solved the first question. Now let us look at another question. We have been given this diagram. PQRS, it's a square. Let us see what is given. PQRS is a square. So we have PQRS is a square. And triangle TQR, that is an equilateral triangle. And we have to prove that triangle QTP and triangle RTS, they are congruent. And the second part is TP and TS, they are equal. And angle PTS, that is this angle over here, this is 30 degrees we have to prove. Now, in order to prove this, we have to first look at the fact that is given. If PQRS is a square, PQ will be equal to QR, will be equal to RS, will be equal to PS. And if TQR is an equilateral triangle, then these QR and TQ and TR, they are going to be equal. So we write just that. Now, whatever we have said earlier has been written down just to save on time. So let us just glance through this fast. First of all, we said PQRS is a square. So we write what is given. In fact, whenever we are solving the proof questions, first thing you have to do is find out what are the facts which are given and what is the information that you gather from there. Now, if it is a square, won't you say that all sides are equal? Statement 1, sides of the square are equal. Won't you say that all these, each one of these angles, this one, this one, this one, this one, that they will be 90 degrees. So I have taken PQR 90 and SRQ, this is 90, because we'll be using these angles in this triangle and in this triangle. So I've written only 2 of them. You can write all of them, no problem. And so we write over there statement 1 because angles of the square are 90 degrees each. Clear? Simple? Okay. Now the next part you have to talk about is the equilateral triangle. Now if this is equilateral triangle, then all sides are equal and each angle is 60 degrees. Agreed? And so we write just that. Now look at that. Triangle TQR equilateral triangle. So these angles equal to 60 degrees. I have named the angles and I've written the names. And we say the statement 4, angles of an equilateral triangle are 60 degrees each. What else we know? That their sides are going to be equal. Now look over here. Isn't QR equal to TQ and TR? So we write just that. Simple so far. Statement 4 is the reason sides of an equilateral triangle are equal. Okay, done? Alright. Now we have to prove that triangle QTP and RTS, they are congruent. Now in order to see the congruent triangles, won't you now look at these triangles QTP and see that this side and then in this triangle this side, they are equal, plus QP and RS, they are equal. And can you see this angle between the two sides? Between these two sides, can you see this angle? How much is this angle? Tell me. 90 degrees plus 60 degrees. How much is that? 150 degrees. So this is 150 degrees as well. And so by SAS test of congruency, we say that the two triangles are congruent. Okay, so now we write just that. And so I have written in triangle QTP and triangle RTS, that is RTS. Can you see TQ and TR are equal? And that is because of statement 6. Where is statement 6? Here it is. Can you see that? Statement 4, because TQR is an equilateral triangle. Now angle PQT. This angle is angle PQT, which is 90 degrees plus 60, is equal to SRT angle, that is again 90 degrees plus 60 degrees. So I have written that. And which statement said that these are 90 plus 60? That is 90 is statement 3 and 60 is statement 5. So statement 3 and 5 gave us these values, and that is equal to 150 degrees each one of them. Now we finish with this side, this angle. Now we come to this side, which is PQ, and here corresponding side is SR. Are PQ and SR equal? Yes. So we've written that PQ and SR, they are equal because of statement 2. Can you see statement 2 here? Because PQRS is a square. And so we say, therefore, this is your side, this is your angle, and this is your side. So we have used SAS test for congruency, or SAS axiom for congruency, and we will write it as, therefore triangle QTP is congruent to triangle RTS, and that will be from statement 7, 8 and 9, and SAS test for congruency. And because they had asked us as the first question to prove, we will also write over there proved 1. Now the second part was to prove that TP and TS, they are equal. Now look at these two triangles. We just proved that they are congruent. What does that mean? Doesn't that mean that if SAS was used, then the other angles, this one, and this, the remaining side TP, they will also be equal to the corresponding elements of the other triangle, which means TP and TS, they are the corresponding sides of the two triangles. Why are they called corresponding? Because TP is opposite this 150 degrees. TS is opposite this 150 degrees. So TP and TS, they are corresponding to each other. So we will write just that. We will say, therefore, TP is equal to TS, and that will be because of statement number 10. And we say corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CP, CTC. And because this was our second proof, we will say proved 2. Now we come to the next part. We have to prove that angle PTS over here, this one is 30 degrees. So now what is this angle? Isn't it QTR angle minus this A and this A? Now, why did I call these A and A? Because in this triangle, you can see QT and QP, they are equal. Just like in this triangle, RT and RS are equal. So this becomes an isosceles triangle. This also becomes an isosceles triangle. And so these base angles, they are going to be equal. So I mark them as A and A. Here also I mark them as A and A. And now let us see how we write it. We will say in triangle QTP, QT is equal to QP. Now QT and QP, they are statement 2 and 6. See here in statement 2, I have QP. QP is equal to QR. And 6 one has QR is equal to QT. That is TQ. Can you see that? So because there is QR here and QR here, therefore all these sides will be equal to these two as well. Alright? So statement number 13. Now remember, if the sides are equal in a triangle, then the angles opposite equal sides are also equal. So QT opposite to that is this one, which is QPT. Angle QPT will be equal to opposite QP, this angle. This will be QTP. And that will be small a. And we will say statement 12. And we will say angles opposite equal sides are equal. Now, statement number 14. In this triangle, so in triangle QTP, doesn't it mean A and this angle? They are going to be supplementary. So A plus this angle, that is PQT, angle PQT plus small a equal to 180 degrees. This A plus this angle plus this, they add up to 180 degrees. And here we will say statement 13, because statement 13 says that these angles are equal to A. And then we will also say that angles of triangle are supplementary. What does supplementary mean? Supplementary means that the sum of these angles is going to be 180 degrees. And so we will say therefore 2A plus angle PQT is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore 2A is equal to 180 degrees minus angle PQT. Therefore 2A is equal to 180 degrees minus 150 degrees. Which statement said that it is 150 degrees? Here. This is your statement number 8. So we will say, because of statement number 8, we are saying this. Therefore 2A will be equal to 30 degrees, and therefore A is equal to 30 degrees upon 2, which is 15 degrees. But we want angle PTS. Angle PTS is going to be part of angle QTR. Can you see that? QTR, this QTR is made of A and angle PTS and this small a again. So we have to write that. Statement 15. Angle QTR is equal to small a plus angle PTS plus this a, that is because of diagram. Because of the diagram we say that. Now, which is equal to, now this will be 2a plus angle PTS. But how much is QTR? It is 60 degrees. Why is it 60 degrees? Because it is the angle of equilateral triangle, and we have already finished writing that in statement 5. So you can just go back and see statement number 5 and you will get it, which will give us 60 degrees equal to 2 into 15 degrees plus angle PTS, which is angle PTS will be 60 degrees minus 30 degrees, which is equal to 30 degrees, and that is what was required of us as our third answer. Hope you have liked this video as much as I liked making this video, and I hope you understood the concept of congruence in triangles. Thank you for watching. For more information on the concepts of maths, physics, and chemistry, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so you will be updated whenever I upload a new video, and enjoy learning the easy way.